Welcome, guys. Welcome again to another episode of the WSXM channel. Don't know. My name is Teflon, and as I always say, a united Africa is an undisputed Africa. So there was a big uproar in ECOWAS parliament where the vice president actually wanted to fight one of the speakers who was voicing his opinion during the parliament session. And she gets so upset, and anyway, the speaker was Marius Sagna. He's a Senegalese Pan-Africanist. He's a parliamentarian. He's a politician, and he does a lot of work in Senegal. He was a thorn in Macky Sall side when he was president before the no president the Dayame become president. But this was one of the guys who was a thorn in Macky Sall's side, and he's very loved by a lot of Senegalese because of his outspokenness, his truthfulness. He fight against corruption and against bad policies, and he fight for decolonization and all of that. So let's listen to his speech in the ECOWAS Parliament, and then we'll dissect it. Take a listen. Thank you very much, Madam President. The African from Kenya, Nikon Changwa, said he wrote he wrote a book called Decolonizing Minds. If we do not decolonize our minds, we West Africans will continue to be part of the 33 poorest countries on the planet. I said yesterday about the 33 poorest countries on the planet. The 13 are from Africa. West, we need to decolonize minds as long as we continue to say that we are poor, we are not making the right diagnostics. We are impoverished. And the question is, who is impoverishing us? I think it is our own regimen, our own presidents, by their options, which are no good options, which are no good options for embezzlement, which are options for following the IMF and the World Bank, which are options for maintaining a neo-colonial currency, which is the CFA franc, which are neoliberal options. At the time we said there is no alternative. There is no alternative. If there is an alternative to those policies, even a child, when he has been in politics for 50 years, the CDO has 50 years and it is not working. He must change his path. The young people say we must change his path, the path of sovereignty, the path of rupture, the path of change. The Shells have 120,000 inhabitants. They are 67th in the UDM DAP ranking. They don't have neither oil nor gas or anything. The scales 120,000 inhabitants. They have their own currency. Senegal cannot have its own currency. Ivory Coast cannot have its own currency. CDO cannot have its currency. We must get out of Nigeria. It is a federation of 36 states. What are we doing towards a federation to be much stronger on all levels? We must move towards a federal government. We must be united around a federal government. The 36 Nigerian states have been weakened. Even if they had not left separate together, they are strong. But they are, as I said, everyone wants to be president at home. Everyone wants to be head of parliament at home. We must get out of this. This is what I'm calling upon the SADC do. This is what I am calling upon the West Africa to do. There is no inevitability. There are responsibilities not assumed in its time for us to let's assume to save the CDO or die. Thank you. So there you see it. He talked about the Kenyan author that wrote the book on decolonizing of minds. And what he's saying is 100% true. A lot of people are still, their minds are still colonized. There is yet to be decolonized. And not only that, he also spoke of presidents not working for their citizens and working against them by um, doing bad policies, um, still pushing this neo-colonial currency, which is the CFA franc, that is wreaking havoc on Senegal, Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, Cameroon, and a couple of other African countries. There are 14 of them that are still using the CFA franc, which is a French currency. And what he's saying is we need to get away from that. I need to have our own currency because how is it other countries that, as he said in his speech, that does not have oil and gas and resources have their own currency, but Senegal can't have their own currency when they have all those things: oil, gas, fisheries, all kind of resources on the ground, and they're still using the CFA franc. So he said that is what is kind of keeping the people down. And even though some countries in Africa is as they said, poor. Yes, Africa is. Some of these countries are poor, but not because of resources. They are poor because of bad management and of bad presidents, and that's why they don't like him. That's why the vice president of the ECOWAS Parliament wanted to fight him because let me show you a little bit of it, and that's it there. When she's getting on and she's acting all wild and she's saying like he's basically telling him, "Shut up! Don't call the president's names and don't do this." What she's upset about is that he says Ivory Coast and a couple other countries presidents are bad presidents, are corrupt presidents, and she didn't like that, so she was fighting for them. He even mentioned the Nigerian president, and hence the reason why she started to flame. Actually, literally want to go and fight this gentleman for speaking facts while she's covering for her people. And that's it. And after she finished, she did a speech saying that the reason why she was acting like that because he was calling out the presidents by their names and he's not their friends and stuff. But that's no reason for a parliamentarian to act like that toward the speaker. You should be able to control your emotions. This is why sometimes you cannot give. Not all women should have the power of a certain power because they tend to get emotional and abuse it. I'm not saying all women, I'm not saying in this case, this specific woman was so emotional, she overstepped, and she should be expelled from parliament for that kind of behavior. But anyway, I digress. So, what Marius Sagna is saying here, he's still fighting the fight for having the policies to change because even though Diama is now the president of Senegal, the system itself still not fixed. And he's not fighting the person, he's fighting the system. And we all need to do the same thing by stepping up when the system, we know the system is corrupt in our individual countries. I'm talking about in the Caribbean diaspora, especially in Jamaica, where I'm from. We need to step up more and hold our parliamentarians and our politicians accountable for their bad and poor decisions and their corrupt mentality that they have by fighting against citizens and making things worse for them instead of better. Unlike what President Abraham Traore of Burkina Faso is doing, which is one of the a beacon shining as someone to emulate on the continent when it comes down to ruling and governing his people. And I love this video. I love this because, as I said, we need to stand up and make our voices be heard loudly. We need to shine up. Even this gentleman, Marius, he need to have more light. He needs to be more pushed more to the forefront to push his agenda because his agenda is the same agenda as any other Pan Africanist who is fighting the system to decolonize, pushing for a decolonization of our minds for those who are still have that colonized mindset. So it's a lot of people out there who have the colonized mindset still. Unbelievably so. It's hard to believe, but trust me, it's a whole lot of people who still have that colonized mindset. And can we still do, we are we as black people is and are our own enemy. Can we fight against our own the most? We are prejudiced against our own the most. We have colorism, we have lighter skins. Africans don't like darker skinned Africans. And that's a colonized mindset because you pit basically you have remember during slavery you had the inside the house slaves and then you have the outside slaves. The house slaves are the ones that high color, it's more pretty in the house, and there is the one who think everything is hunky dory while the others outside is suffering. The same thing, it was pushed in our mindset that some of us are better than others. So hence the reason why you have this infighting where we are fighting against each other instead of helping each other. We have this stigma that we will work with other race except for our own, and it's our big thing going on globally with the black people. We need to stop this infighting, this going against each other for the simplest of matter. and we need to stop it. Anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comment section. Do you agree, disagree? Let me know what you think about it. It's right there for you to see and understand and try to comprehend what's going on a global level with black people and our fight to be free, not free, because we are free. A fight to decolonize, to change our mindset that we have that was burnt in our brain from our older generations coming all the way up. Of I know I am better than you because you don't have enough money as me, or I want to live in this area, I don't want to live against these people because they're black, or these black people are not educated, or these black people are too ugly, or these black people are too black, or these black people have bad hair, I have good hair. No, simple little thing like that we need to get start to get over. And we should and then we'll be doing much better as time goes on. Anyway, let me know what you think about it as I said earlier. Don't know. Thanks for watching. Boom.